When you're starting with Tableau, the most fundamental thing you need to be able to do is build bar charts. One of the wonderful things about Tableau is that you can build so many different types of bar charts. I'm going to show you each one of them. Let's go. Here we are for another video. Thank you for joining. And before we get started, if you are checking out this video, it really is for beginners, getting started with bar charts. So if you are interested in learning it in a course structure or learning some more fundamentals, check out my website, Jellyman Education. The link is in the description. And if you click this button right here on the top, you will see there is a free course. That's right. This is designed just to get started with Tableau, the fundamentals, how to install it, how the structure works, how to do pie charts, line charts, bar charts, all those really fundamental things. And if you want to learn a bit further, then you can check out the bundle, which has almost 40 hours worth of content, and that will make you a Tableau guru, Tableau master. All right, let's get into our video. So you have installed Tableau, and now what you want to do is build some bar charts. So why are bar charts so important when it comes to Tableau? All right, let's talk about that while we get set up. So if you open up your Tableau, right, yours is not going to look like this. Yours is going to be empty, and you can load up this data set, which is the Superstore data set. It is in the description below, and you can download that and follow it. And I'm going to show you how to build these 6 bar charts. So we've got the standard one here. We've got this one, which I guess you can call it a column chart. We have this one, which is again a column chart. This one with some color variations. This one with some splits. Okay, and then here with some multiple measures. So we'll go through some of these kind of fundamental ideas of bar charts. So 30 seconds why bar charts are so important. 80 to 90% of the stuff you're going to be building as a professional analyst is going to be bar charts. Some variation of that. And the reason is because people are very used to bar charts, even people who are not in the data space. They know what a bar chart is. It's really easy for the human brain to compare sizes. So this one is about just over a third of the top one. So you can say that the first class is 3 times larger than same day without knowing the actual figures. We know that standard class is significantly larger than everything else. If I did something like this, you have to think about it. Okay, that is the power of data visualization, in that the brain can interpret it before you actually have time to read it. The brain is just really good at it. So let's build some bar charts. Whenever you build a bar chart or any type of visualization, you always want to think about what are the minimum number of things I need to build this visualization. So with a bar chart, say I have this. Okay, so I got a bar chart like this. At a minimum, I need 2 things. I need something to separate these two. So this could be red and blue, yes and no, black and white, 1 and 2, right? So you need something to differentiate the values, right? And let's call that a dimension, right? At the top, we need some sort of value to count, right? To sum or to count or to, what else is there? All the other types of aggregation. Okay, so we need a value here. So where did these two come from? Well, the value here on the top comes from this section right here. Anything that's green down here at the bottom is what's considered a measure. A measure is anything we can perform mathematical calculations on. Okay, that is this part up here. This one, which is the dimension, comes from this top section. Okay, so if you consider that and you look at the visualization we have right there, let's get out my drawing tool. We have 2 things. We have a measure, which is the sales, and then we have a dimension, which is the ship mode. So let's go ahead and build that. So you're going to have something that starts like this. We're going to start with sales. So the way I encourage people to do it is always start with the measure, and we're just going to double click sales. Okay, that will automatically build for you a bar chart. Now remember, this is just the value. We need something to split them up into individual bars. In this case, it's ship mode. So if I bring ship mode into columns, or I can just double click it, one or the other, but I'm going to drop into columns, it's going to split it up. So that 2.3 million is now going to split up across the different ship modes. There you have it. So now if I add the labels in, which is this button right here, all right, we can estimate. So that's about 350, 130, so that's about 500,000. That's about 950, and then 1.3. That gives us the 2.3 million that we originally started with. And that is your most basic bar chart. Easy. Let's do the next one. Okay. Actually, I just realized we did the second one. So this second one is vertical. Now, if you have a situation like this where it's going this way and you want it to go that way, or it's going that way and you want it to go this way, it is called transposing. So it's basically the same as swapping these two. Okay. So let's go ahead and do that manually. If I move sum of sales here, and then I move ship mode to columns, it's now converted it to a column chart. Okay. A quick way of doing that is simply pressing this button up here, which is the transpose button. And that switches between the two, which is just swapping your columns and rows. Okay. But that's the same thing. It just depends on how you want to lay it out. Okay. Now, number 3. Number 3 is still the same bar chart. The only difference is we have now added 2 sets of dimensions. So the way the hierarchy works in Tableau, it always starts from the left going to the right. So that is, you would consider the higher group. Okay, that's one way to think about it. But let's go ahead and build this visualization. So again, starting with the measure, we're going to go sum of sales. And then we're going to bring in category. Now that's going to split the 2.3 million into separate categories. Now within each category, there are subcategories. So if I bring this in as well, it's going to split up this furniture into all the individual subcategories within that furniture. So let's bring subcategory in and drop it into column. And you can see here, now furniture is its own group, office supplies is its own group, technology is its own group, and within those you have your subcategories. Okay, so this is inside of furniture. Okay, or these subcategories are inside the category. That's one way to think of it. All right, so that is the next one. Okay, so the next one here is simply adding color. So one thing you'll notice in here is that it's kind of hard to tell where one starts, one finishes, one ends, and color is a really brilliant way to tell the difference. You can see that as soon as I go from here, your brain will naturally divide the data set. Yeah, perfect. So how do we do that? Well, if we go back to our example here, we have to decide, what are we coloring it on? Well, we're actually coloring it on the category. So we want 3 separate colors. So it's as simple as bringing category into color. That's it. So if I drop that in, it's now going to color it by category. And I can do different things. I can drop subcategory into color. Now they're going to be colored individually because I'm coloring it by the subcategory. But this doesn't really help us in any way. It doesn't really add any value. Category is a better choice. Okay. All right. So that is the number 4. Number 5. Okay. So we're just smashing through these. It's the same thing as before, but now we are also splitting this way. Okay. This field is called segment. So you can actually split your data that way. You can also split it this way. So how do you do that? Well, if we go back to our previous example, which is this one right here, if we want to split this up this way, we simply add a dimension to split that up here into rows. Now in our case, it's going to be segment. So if I drop that into rows, it's now going to split them up. Okay, so if you think about it, if I add the labels back in, 68,000, 34,000, and 12,000 before made up this one right here. Now another way to look at this is if I drop segment into color, you can see those individual segments that make up the total sales for bookcases. But if I don't want to show it like that, I really want to show it here in the rows. I can split it up that way. Okay. Now the very last example is, What if I wanted to see sales, quantity, and profit? So what we call multiple measures, okay? This is very, very easy. So let's go into a new worksheet. I'm gonna bring in the first one. So let's do sales. Now remember, we want it to go this way. So I can move this sales into column. So now it's going this way. Then, let me see what we split it on, category. So let's bring in category. And now, in order to add more measures, I simply take the next measure I want and just drop it right next to sales. You can see now profits there, quantity, and I can add as many as I like. It's going to keep going. And that is it. So that is a really quick crash course on bar charts. Hope you guys enjoyed. Check out the website. Thank you for watching. See you next time.